There are a lot of uh, incidents happening in organizations where the organization is getting impacted, people working in that organization gets impacted, society gets impacted because of not having a proper corporate governance. But I feel it's high time we should have a different perspective of focusing on purpose also. So it should be a profit with purpose.
Hello and welcome to another episode of FaceTime with Leaders, brought to you by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I'm your host, Priya George, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by someone with an incredible depth of experience in the world of human resources. He's shaped teams, transformed organizations, and navigated some of the most challenging environments. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Rajesh Mohan Jha, a seasoned HR professional with over 25 years of experience leading strategic HR initiatives across various sectors like energy, steel, and mining. Mr. Rajesh Mohan Jha, uh, welcome to FaceTime with Leaders, and it's truly a pleasure to have you on the podcast today.
Thank you, Priya. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my ideas. And I'm really happy and look forward to this.
Great. We are really looking forward to a great conversation as well. And with your extensive background in managing large teams and driving cultural transformation, I know today's discussion is going to be both insightful and inspiring for your audience. What do you think?
Yeah. So I'm sure I have uh, to share my experiences, my learning, and I'm sure it may be having some value for others also. So I look forward to this conversation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's get straight to it. I have no doubt that our audience will find it very valuable. And without further ado, let's dive into this conversation. Rajesh, you had such an impressive journey in HR. Could you take us through how your career began and share some of the key experiences that shaped your path? I'm sure our audience would love to hear about those moments that helped you grow in your career. So over to you.
Okay. So when I look back about my journey, uh, it at times inspires me. It at times makes me think over that how a journey you know begins. Like when I was a
Hmm.
young child, I always wanted to be in defense services. So I grew up thinking of being part of services, but that didn't happen. I was good in mathematics, so my parents and people around me wanted me to be an engineer. Even that
Okay.
didn't happen. So I did my graduation. In the process of knowing my own self and uh, trying to figure out what to do with my life, I realized I wanted to be in a field where I am in a position or a space where my life or my journey inspires people around me. And
Right.
I got to realize that, okay, some sort of psychological background would help. But I
Hmm.
had already done my BSc. And then I realized that, okay, there is a master's specializing in HR. And I thought, let me try it out. So my entry into HR has been with a very idealistic thought of self growth
Hmm.
and my journey of self growth, inspiring people to their own journeys. So that's
Right.
how it all began. So after my post-graduation, I joined the public sector, Steel Authority of India Limited, one of the largest in steel.
Yes.
Yeah. And I was at different locations, and it was a good experience. Just out of college, a place where you work with around 6,000 regular employees and about 3,000 laborers, casual laborers.
Wow.
So my grounding in HR basically started with a plant HR experience, handling a large workforce.
Mhm.
And that too, there were unions, sub-factions. So even that experience of like what we call of industrial relations, that
Mhm.
foundation which I got in SAIL, helped me grow as a person and as a professional. So after Steel Authority, I thought, okay, maybe it's high time with about 14 years of experience to get out and explore my uh, sort of learning in a private
Mhm.
space.
Okay.
And I moved to a thermal power company. It was
Right.
at a project stage. I was there with this company for about 5 years. And then I again made a change, which was a brief one with a mining company and
Mhm.
then dairy. And then ended up with my last company, Windworld, which is basically uh, a company with an multinational energon, German-based companies connection. And we were into like my last, I have already left the company. So I was with this company, which was into wind energy per se. So yeah, I'm to say my journey at times I say it's scattered, but then it has been the sort of part of my growth as a person and as a professional. And I've really
Absolutely.
enjoyed my journey into this HR, and
Right.
sort of because of this covered almost pan India.
Okay.
So I've been to
Okay.
different places.
Right. Thank you for your response. And it's incredible sometimes when you look back to think about how these different experiences or the people that might have come in our earlier career have shaped your approach to HR. So thank you for sharing that with us. Rajesh, you've had the remarkable opportunity to lead cultural transformation at two major organizations. One was Steel Authority of India Limited and Windworld, affecting over 12,000 lives across both. And I can only imagine the immense responsibility that must have come along with such an opportunity such as this. When you look back, what do you think were some of the most pivotal or key moments or challenges for you that really tested you or shaped you? And how did you find the strength and vision to navigate through them? We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you. Thank you. So my first, as I shared, experience was with a large public sector, and it was mostly uh, a very sort of remote location, because steel companies, they need a lot of sort of
Area.
land, and
Correct.
they have township around that. So and while I was with SAIL, I was at different locations. So
Hmm.
what I realized that uh, more or less people are same, their expectations are similar. Uh, Maybe in India, because of the locational uh, sort of issues, there can be some shift or the approach in how you handle maybe in one state or the other state. But
Okay.
basic uh, expectations of workforce, what I have realized, is same.
Right.
And whatever change uh, one needs to bring because
Hmm.
of a number of reasons,
Hmm.
I realized that the foundation has to be of trust.
Hmm. Hmm.
what I have realized over the period that HR has always been uh, a department which people don't uh, look at very positively, and people have fear around them. People feel that at times it's a thankless job. Though things have changed in last few years, but initially it was like that. So like when I joined, it was like, अरे सर आप तो नए हो, आप क्या बदलाव लाओगे ये इतने सालों से, because the company had a
Correct.
history. So 20
Correct.
years old company, they have their own history. They had their own sort of cultural influence, and a new person coming out with ideas or thoughts. So in this journey, one is the top management support, which helped me in taking that initiative, whatever I wanted to take. But then more so, I realized and I worked on that I create a trust among people.
Right.
What I started doing is I used to be very upfront, used to share whatever I had, and I used to keep them updated that why are we doing this? What is the rationale behind it? And why do we need to do it?
Correct.
So we don't do or take any step just for the heck of it. So
Correct.
it's like we used to share with them the way industry is moving, the way country is moving, where do we play the role in manufacturing setup, and why do we need to make that shift? But then when I was with the sale, it was a company located at one space in one city, maybe remote. When I joined, like in my last assignment, it was a scattered location. Like we had a manufacturing unit in Daman, we had a corporate office in Mumbai, and we were in 8 states. So here the challenge was different because we need to come out with interventions which are sort of under the policy, a sort of uniform policy for the company per se. But there were location changes, state-wise challenges, statewide is a difference in the people's thought process, approach, or expectation. And in both these companies, I also got to have an experience of handling union.
Okay.
So in sale, it was external union. So the representatives were from outside, while in Wind World, the representatives were internal people, though the sort of president of that organization was from outside, but mostly the workers who were part of union were internal.
Right.
While in sale, a big chunk of the leaders or the people who was negotiating were from outside.
Right.
And so it has been a very challenging journey, but then I felt that whatever changes one needs to bring, it has to be trust and come out with very open and authentic approach to people. So it was an opportunity to maybe make people believe that HR is not always doing things just for the heck of doing. There is a story behind it, and it has to be keeping in mind the concerns of the people. So that has been a very
correct. Right. That's incredible. And thank you for sharing that, because it's really moving to hear how you navigated those tough times and still managed to steer such large organizations towards success. Rajesh, throughout your career, you've navigated some incredibly complex and high pressure areas, just like, the ones you cited in your earlier response, whether it's statutory compliance, dynamics of large teams, or the day-to-day challenges of leadership. But despite all of this, you've always placed a very strong emphasis on happiness coaching and mindfulness. And it's not something we always see in such high stakes environments. So, what was it that led you to take a more human centric approach?
For asking this question. For me, this journey on the path of happiness or mindfulness started with my own self.
Okay.
And it was because of whatever I had gone through, whatever personality issues I had faced for myself. And I don't know whether it's relevant, but then no family, lost my parents, lost my only younger brother. I don't having an immediate family. So at times it was very challenging for me to take it, and be very comfortable with that. That there is a personal space which I don't have. And so my only focus used to be on professional space.
Right.
And I've always believed it and realized that people don't have a separate personal space or a professional space. Either ways, the other impacts. Like when you go to your job, you don't come out with keeping your personal space aside, only professionally working on that area. And when you are in personal space, it's like whatever has happened in the organization does impact you, and at times you bring.
It does.
Yeah. So for me, it was always that you are whole as a person, whether you are in personal space or a professional space. And that's how my focus on happiness, like how I need to be happy, how I should take care of my personal space, being very like not having a real I'm to say personal space in a real sense. So and then when I started working, so there were times when people were conducting misconduct, and then speaking to them, and then realizing that they have a reason behind that. So that those things, when I started sort of learning about it, I realized that these people should have some sort of exposure to happiness and mindfulness to prepare themselves to handle their maybe personal space or professional space. So professional space, yes, we were there to help them. But then there have been issues at personal space which were impacting at the personal space. So I started talking to people about that. I started taking few sort of small initiatives which I used to share with them to take care of their whatever challenges they had. So that's what I was the reason I moved into this space. And now there are so many studies which have sort of which comes out with this conclusion that these things do impact even the business outcome, even the performance of the organization and overall performance. So now it's more of I think it should be one of the parameters which people should look into when you talk of organizational health.
Right. Absolutely. I think it's so interesting that you managed to include or make human elements, a part of everyday functioning in such high stake environments, and prioritizing well-being, even in the toughest situations. So that says a lot about your leadership style. Moving on, Rajesh, we are living in a time where AI is revolutionizing almost every aspect of business, which includes HR as well. While technology continues to advance, there's something very human about leadership and employee relationships that cannot be replicated by machines, which is something that you stressed upon in your earlier response as well. With that in mind, what human qualities do you believe will become even more irreplaceable in HR over the next few years?
I'm sorry. So AI
No
and this
problem.
technological development is bound to happen.
True.
It's a reality.
Correct.
And but then every country, every industry is at a different level of their journey of integrating this technological advancements. Not all industry or all company can are at the same level where they can sort of put it into the system.
Mm.
So even though there is focus of so much of AI and technological advancement, uh, the organizations will have to focus on data-driven culture. These technological developments have been to take care of maybe routine work, redundancy. There have been few other developments also, but then it is like something which can't be in totality replace human.
Correct.
So if you go to, there are a number of studies around that with this technological advancement and advent of AI, one of the most important skill which people needs to have is emotional intelligence. How do you handle your own self along with these advancements? It also like trust. Trust is not something which can be automated in. Relationships is something where you need to have human touch. Uh, uh, so these are few qualities like creativity, curiosity. These are trust, authenticity, empathy, which is like again part of emotional intelligence. So
Right.
these qualities are something which will never die. Rather, it demands more because of the impact of AI or technological advancement. I'm to say, if we talk of the impact of these things in India. So on one hand, well, it has added value. It's going to add value. But then because of that, we need to prepare beforehand for the people who has to move out of the job because of this. Maybe small number or large number. So we need to have a system, a mechanism which takes care of these people before these technological impact happens in an organization. Because it will happen, it will impact people, and for that, whatever happens, there has to have a mental, emotional build-up that, okay, because of this, maybe I will have to go out of the system. So what is company doing for that? What can I do for that? So I feel as an HR professional, the company needs to play that role of preparing people for whom, or upskill people, reskill people who is getting impacted because of this AI or technological advancement.
Right, right. It makes a lot of sense actually, and it's a great insight. And it's clear while AI will transform many areas of HR, but like you mentioned, the human touch is irreplaceable. Rajesh, as you look to the future, what are some of your aspirations, both on a personal front and on a professional front, more specifically in the boardroom? What's next for you? What kind of legacy do you hope to leave in the world of HR and leadership?
In a great question. I believe that I have not been able to optimally utilize my potential as an HR professional. And when I talk of a profession, so HR, I don't see it limited to organizations only. When I'm as an ideally everybody is an HR professional, but I feel very strongly that if I am a human being first and then an HR professional, my beingness should impact all around, whether it organization or in the personal space. So I feel it's very important for an individual to understand that one doesn't cease to impact around just because one is not in an organization. So the journey doesn't end with coming out of an organization or maybe retiring. So for me, life is a journey itself, and it continues till the last breath. So with the experience which I have, I feel there is so much more to contribute. And I feel contribution as an individual, as an HR leader, as a professional. So, and with this sort of work where you are part of board, I think it's much more wider impact. It has a much more wider and deeper impact, because that way you are impacting a larger audience. And again, stakeholders, so it's internal, external. Nowadays, like society itself, people are talking about society itself being a stakeholder in whatever activities you are part of. So I look forward to, I see that there is so much more within me which I would like to share, and I am maybe looking for a platform which gives me that opportunity.
Right, right. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm sure with your vision and the way you are leading, the values and the principles that you have led your professional and personal life so far, I'm sure that day is not, far ahead. And it's so inspiring to hear how much you're looking ahead with so much of a focus on shaping the future of leadership with an element of the human touch to it. So thank you for sharing that. With your extensive experience, I'd love to hear your thoughts on how you've seen corporate governance evolve over the years. How do you see its role in shaping organizations for the future? And what do you think are some of the key elements that must be prioritized to ensure that strong governance in today's corporate landscape?
Very important. Corporate governance, like we have been talking about, more focus nowadays, but then it's very important because if we look around, there are a lot of uh, incidents happening in organizations where the organization is getting impacted, people working in that organization gets impacted, society gets impacted because of not having a proper corporate governance. So it's very important. It's high time we need to work on it, and it becomes a responsibility of all, even otherwise more so people who have been part of. Corporate governance focus more so is because whatever we are doing, like so far it has been very profit oriented.
Right.
But I feel it's high time we should have a different perspective of focusing on purpose also. So it should be a profit with purpose. And that's where corporate governance comes in, as far as I understand. And for that, maybe the journey has begun, maybe a lot more to do in our country, especially. But then it's very important. And again, ideally, business leaders who are responsible, one is they should, on their own, take that responsibility of having a corporate having a proper corporate governance system in the process. Otherwise, there needs to have people around who nudges those people who are at the helm to decide that why do we need to focus and why we should do for that. So it's very important and a responsibility for everybody to create that structure of corporate governance so that things which should not have happened or shouldn't happen doesn't happen.
Right. Makes sense. As we near the end of the interview, Rajesh, we've learned that you've recently joined Directors Institute, which is known for bringing leaders across industries to foster innovation and strong leadership. So could you share with us your experience? How has your experience been so far? What motivated you to join?
Yeah, I went through one of the presentation. I have known few people who have done these courses, and I realized that there is something in this space which I can take it as an opportunity to prepare myself and see how do I fit into this scheme of things. So it was out of curiosity that I have joined, but then whatever I got to know or whatever I have seen happening around, I feel it's gives you an opportunity to again enhance your own leadership. It also gives you an opportunity to be in a space where you can influence for the good of the company and society. It also gives you an opportunity to network and learn more. So for me, is a mix of learning and networking, which brought me here. And I think there is a lot of value in it, and sure, someday I'm going to use that for impacting organizations a lot.
Absolutely. And we are glad to hear that the Directors Institute, and we can assure you that it's definitely a step in the right direction of your professional journey. And it sounds like a great space for growth and collaboration. Rajesh, it's been an honor to have you with us today. Your journey in HR, your human-centric approach, and your thoughts on the future of leadership are and truly inspiring. So thank you so much for taking the time to share your valuable insights with our audience. And thank you once again for joining us on FaceTime with Leaders.
Thank you. Thank you.
So your perspective, Rajesh, on balancing technology with humanity in leadership will surely leave a lasting impact. And like I said earlier, we cannot thank you enough for joining us. To our audience members, we hope today's discussion has sparked some thought and inspiration for your own leadership journeys. Be sure to join us the next time on FaceTime with Leaders. This is your host, Priya George, signing off. Take care.
Thank you.